Hey, hi there. I am so excited to bring this topic because I get a lot of people asking me about how do I ask for a raise or how do I get promoted? I like my job, I like what I'm doing. How do I get promoted in the company I work for? So I'm going to give you 5 steps to take and process and actually implement to facilitate getting that promotion. So first and foremost, number 1 is you need to be really good at what you do. You need to kill it in your job. Be the best of the best. Show up, deliver on time, before a deadline, quality is high. That's number 1. So number 1 is just make sure you are doing a fantastic job. Number 2 would be that you really need to know what you want. So after a period of time in your role, in your job, some people are subject matter experts, some people kind of have careers that go in different places, but what is it that you want? 1 year, 2 years, 5 years down the line, if you could have what you wanted, anything, what would it look like for you? And that's key to know what you want, because number 3 is you need to ask for it. That is so important. I coach a lot of people, especially women, and they say, hey, by the way, I've been in my job for 2 years and I haven't got promoted yet. And I'm so good at what I do and my boss loves me and she gives me great reviews or he gives me great reviews, but I haven't been promoted yet. I don't understand. And so people will keep you where you are, especially if you're delivering. Why? Because it benefits them. So if you don't step up and ask for what you want, you won't get it. And I like to say a closed mouth will never be fed. And so that's so true. And how do you ask for what you want? And that is really, there's an art to that, but there's a little bit of homework that you should do. And the homework is, what is it that you're asking for and how does that contribute to the company or the department? So there needs to be some sort of exchange there. What it is that you want to learn or be a part of, and how does that contribute to the bottom line? How does that contribute to the company objectives, the department goals? And so that's the homework that you need to do, is to connect those 2 dots, because that's going to be key. If you're in a role and you're asking to do something totally different, half the time it's not going to be favorable. So it needs to make sense. And so once you've done your homework, now it's time to set the meeting, set that agenda item with the person that you report up to and share what it is that you want and ask for it. And once you've done that, you pause. A pause is so powerful. You'd be surprised. It creates that space where the other person has to say something, and usually it's going to be their initial response, right? So their initial response is, okay, great. All for that. How can I help you? Let's get it started. I'm glad you came to me with this. Or you may get a response where there's some hesitancy of, well, I'm not really sure. We're really busy and I kind of need you focusing on this. And that could very well be a response, and that's fine, and that could be reasonable. But my number 4 is follow-up. Okay, so right now is not the time, but now you know what I want, and I've made that very clear, and so that's fine. I will follow up with you. How about 3 more months from now, I'll put something on the calendar. Wow, can't say no to that, can you? So these are tips that really show that you are driving your career. You're not sitting back waiting for someone to just deliver something on a platter that's everything that you've been wanting, but you haven't asked for it. So that is really going to get into the momentum of people seeing you as strategic, going for what you want. And people want to work with people like that. People want to be around people that are ambitious, that have career goals, and they know how to make things happen and aren't just sitting around and just doing the bare minimum. So definitely some good tips there. And my number 5 is to build champions, build relationships with people that you work with, and outside of the 4 walls of the people that you work directly with, right? Because you'd be surprised, a lot of the conflict that happens in the working environment is usually because of the competition. People who are in similar positions competing against each other, and there's a little bit of competition and a little bit of weirdness sometimes, and those are the people that, we all have dealt with them. But how do you get around that? And the way that I love to do this is to build champions with people that are your customers, are your clients, people that you serve every day. Who are you working with? What is it that you're doing, and who does it impact? And then you create the visibility and you show up. I always say, get out of your office or whatever environment you're in, outside of the computer, the email, and out of the telephone, and show up. I love to pop in on people 5 minutes and say, hey, I just wanted to see how things are going, what's working well, and what can I do differently to better serve you, and have a particular topic around the work that you do, around the service that they receive. And if you're doing that to multiple people multiple times, you will create a reputation for yourself, and better believe if you're going to be promoted and they're going to give you a higher salary, they're going to ask around. They're going to ask people, how does this person work? How do they show up? What are your thoughts? So building those champions, very, very important. And then, so those are the 5 steps. And what if that doesn't work? I'm not saying this is going to work every single time, but I would say a high percentage of the time it's going to. And what happens when it doesn't? So that's when it's like, is this the right place for me? Is this the right place? If you're delivering and you're making an impact and there is no reciprocation at some point to develop you. I mean, I know our millennial folks, that's important to them. You know, development, moving up the ladder, or moving into different positions where they can work on the projects that they want, where they can be creative. And if that's not happening, millennial folks, we just leave. We just go somewhere else. You better believe someone else can give me what I want. And they do, right? But what if you like the people you work with, you like the job that you have, and you don't want to have to leave just to get that one up? So it's to ask for what you want, to follow up, and see how that really works for you. And people see you in a different light. They take you seriously, and they create a plan. They want to keep you. And if they don't, then yes, check your environment. Maybe you got to go somewhere else, and that's a possibility. But I am so excited to see how these 5 steps are going to work for you. And if you need any support with that conversation, I'd love to coach you through that process, and look forward to seeing how that's going to work out for you. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall see you soon.